Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. Today we're going to talk about using the attendee list for Concur. Now the reason that you'd want to use this is sometimes when you have expense types you need to have a group and you need to have all the people listed of that group on the expense. So normally you would have to update them individually, so each person would have to be added to the attendee. So with this list you can do everyone all at once in a mass update. Makes it a lot faster. So to begin, let's go to mychk.com. And then we're going to go to the Looking For section. And we're going to scroll down until we see Concur. It's under the Travel and Expense section. We'll click on that. This will bring up Concur, and it's a single sign-on process, so you won't need to put in credentials of any sort if you're logged into the Chesapeake network. Next, we're going to click on Expense. We need to start an expense report so that we can show how to import the attendees. And you can name it whatever you want, it doesn't really matter. For this purpose, we're just going to name it Test. You click on Create New Report. Name your report. This is the only required field when you're creating an expense report. I'm going to name it Test, and then I'm going to click on Next. This will create a new expense report in Concur, and then we're going to need to add an expense. Now this particular attendee field is for group expenses, so once we click on New Expense, we're then going to type the words group, and this will bring up group expense types. You can see them just down here. We're going to use employee group meals 6350103. Now, as you can see here, I now have my expense group meal, but I don't have any attendees, and I want to populate the attendee names with all the different people that were in the group meal. So I'm going to start by clicking on Import. And what this does is takes us to a Concur landing page that we can then pull a file that will give us a template model. You want to click on this link section right here. I'm going to save this. I'm actually going to click on Save As so that I can save it to location, but you can just click Save. It'll also download to the Downloads folder. Click Save As. And you can see here I'm just saving it in My Documents. I have a demo folder here. This is the Attendee Import Template. I'm going to save that. And then we're going to open the folder. Go back to that section that we were just in. Open the Excel file. You can see there below I've got one called Ready to Go. That one's got all the data filled in for us, just to save a little bit of time. But if you have pre-populated data, you can fill it into this attendee template. If you've got people's last names, their first names, that sort of thing. Now there will be 5 categories that you need to make sure are filled out, otherwise this template won't work. And they are attendee type, last name, first name, attendee title, and company. As long as these 5 are filled out, your template will upload just fine. Now in the interest of time, I've filled out some pre-populated on the Ready to Go file. So we're going to click on that, and I'll show you what the file that's ready to import looks like. So I've got my attendee type, last name, first name, attendee title, and company. You have to have these 5, otherwise the import will not work. Now the business types, or attendee types, let's talk about those for a little bit. So the main ones are business guest, employee, government employee, international business guest, and spouse. You have to use these categories. The rest of these are free float fields, so you can type anything you want in the last four. But this attendee type has to be one of those types of categories: business guest, employee, government employee, international business guest, or spouse. Okay, so this is how the file needs to be formatted to be ready to load. Now we're going to load it into Concur. So we're going to close out these pages. I'm going to click on Browse. Browse to our file, select it, and then click Open. Then we click on Next. And then it gives you a preview of what it's going to look like. Click on Next when you're finished preview. And if it's imported successfully, you'll get a record count here that will show you how many imported correctly. In this case, we have 5. When you're finished reviewing, click on Done. And you can see here it has now imported all of our attendees into our list that we need. That concludes the Import Attendees on Concur. Thank you for watching.